Coming to you from the Illegal Shift Studio, it is another episode of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast on this International Women's Day. And all the women in the audience, we salute you with the opening of an ice cold beer. That's how I do it on One More and I'm Out of Here. I'm Dan Carroll. Jason Kiefer, take it away.
Got you, women. I got you. Got you right here. Cheers to you.
We love women.
We love women. You keep us sane. You keep us in check. We love all of you.
And we say that with no equivocation.
Until you go batshit crazy.
Yeah, until it's time to kick to the curb.
I'll say it. You didn't have to even be involved in that.
That's all right.
But we love each and every one of you. And thank you for being women.
I found out after I got dressed today that you're supposed to wear orange in support of women. I don't know why.
Yeah, why orange? Orange is weird.
I don't know, but this shirt.
You would think pink.
This shirt pink has a little tiny dot of orange right there.
Oh, look at you.
A little tiny bit, which look, I didn't know. You probably, I don't know if you can see it very well on the on your screens there, your big screens there at home, but you might be able to. So
look at you. I'm proud of you.
Want to get that out of the way.
I am so proud of you.
And I did not do this on purpose, but I am in support of women, except for that trans golfer. Haley Davidson. This is a great story.
I knew there was something coming.
This just popped up. Transgender golfer Haley Davidson. And we've spoken about this dude before.
This dude.
Playing options just got significantly smaller. NXXT Golf announced today that effective immediately, competitors must be biological female at birth to participate. A statement from the tour notes that it underscores the organization's commitment to maintaining the integrity of women's professional golf and ensuring fair competition. The news comes on International Women's Day. As we navigate through the evolving landscape of sports, it is crucial to uphold the competitive integrity that is the cornerstone of women's sports, said NXXT Golf CEO Stuart McKinnon. Our revised policy is a reflection of our unwavering commitment to celebrating and protecting the achievements and opportunities of female athletes. Protected categories are a fundamental aspect of sports in all levels. It is essential for our tour to uphold these categories for biological females, ensuring a level playing field. That statement right there is what we need a hell of a lot more of in this country. Would you agree?
I completely agree.
That is a strong statement. There is no wishy-washiness in there, and this tour is putting its foot down. You want to play on our tour, you got to be a biological woman. End of story. And I have not one single problem with a single word of that.
No,
that is beautiful.
I don't have an issue with anything that was said there either, because I mean it's level the playing field, make sure it is all on the up and up. Who was it that I didn't pull this story? I meant to and I forgot. Who called out Riley Gaines, and Riley Gaines went back like tenfold. Shit, who was that? You keep talking, I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, and it gets even better.
I meant to pull that story, and I was busy today.
The story gets even better. The NXXT is the second U.S. mini tour to make such a change. Last month, the Arizona-based Cactus Tour announced on National Girls and Women in Sports Day that it had reinstated a female at birth requirement. So women's golf is leading the way.
Good. I think it's great
on this, and I salute them 100%.
Oh,
boom.
Here we go. Boom. 100%.
So that is starting the podcast off with some good news.
Well, I remember talking about this, I don't even know how many podcasts ago.
Yeah. And there's a picture of that dude. That is one ugly dude right there. See? I mean, you want me to send it to you? Although we had his picture up there last time.
You can. He almost looks like Tom Brady.
I know. I think
Which maybe Tom Brady's a girl.
I accidentally just closed everything on my screen.
Oh,
Now I gotta pull everything back up.
oh boy. Oh, here we go. Technology and Dan.
So Haley Davidson, sorry about your luck. Go back to playing men's golf. You're a dude. Play with the dudes. And guess what? If you can't cut it, you're like the rest of us. I couldn't cut it on the men's tour. I play my weekend game on Saturdays and Sundays, and that's where my golf life lives. I have good rounds. I have bad rounds.
And that's perfect. That's where my golf life lives. That's perfect. It lives where it needs to live.
And that is the majority of weekend hackers and people like me that play and enjoy golf.
Nailed it.
Yeah. We all can't be on tour.
I
all can't be special.
I actually just watched, I watched a video where some golf pro was talking about just talking to average golfers, which would be you. I may be below average, but I'm going to throw myself in the average.
That might be slightly above average.
Are you shitting me? Okay. All right. You start laughing. I just wanted to make sure. Just want to make sure you weren't fucking around. But they're like, typically an average golfer is not going to break 100.
Well, it depends on a lot on the golf course.
Correct.
I can break 100 down at Reeves.
Well, yeah, because you fucking play it every week.
Well,
but
I can still break 100.
Right. So if you were to go to, hypothetically, you brought this up a couple podcasts ago, Shake a Run.
I think I can break 100 at Shake a Run.
You think you could?
I've played there many times.
Okay.
Been a while, but I've played there many times. Now, if I were to go to Doral and play it from the tips, or go to Augusta National,
we're talking about average golfing.
I know. I'm just saying.
The average golfer in the golf world, according to this one golf professional, is you're at 100 or a little bit over. That's average. So when people say, well, I can't break 100 or whatever. Now, we hang out with a lot of fucking big ball, big swinging,
big hitters.
Well,
like the llama.
They like to think they're big hitters. That yeah, somebody didn't have.
Hold on, I got to mute my thing. There we go.
Jesus Christ, amateur hour over here.
Well, I'm muted. It's muted.
But everybody likes to think that they're a fucking professional until they're not a professional. But it was funny to watch this video where an average golfer is about 100. The average. Your thoughts?
Well, again, if I were to go out and play Pebble Beach, I probably wouldn't break 100. If I was to go out and play, I don't know, Sharon Woods, mid to low 80s. If I was to go out and play,
I can't wait.
I'm just saying. Well, I mean, look, I can name. If I was to go out and play, let's say Bandon Dunes, or
you're saying the guy that I'm speaking of is just lying.
No, I am not saying that he's lying. I'm saying that he's probably accurate.
You're pulling big fucking course. He's not talking about big course. He's just talking about the average golfer. The average golfer is not going out and playing Pebble Beach.
Well, some of them are.
All right, so
guys who have money.
Maybe you are.
It's expensive.
You know what?
You know how much a round costs at Pebble Beach?
I think you are above average. I'm giving you a compliment. I'm giving you a compliment because you're going to argue with me.
I'm not arguing, but I like to think of myself that way.
Okay. Well, I think of you that way.
And my game is coming around a little bit.
Okay. This week. We'll wait till next week to where, or the first time we play together, and you're like, God damn it. And
it doesn't, you know.
And you want to snap every club in your back.
That hasn't happened.
But I found that amusing in the fact that, well, if you're an average golfer, you're around 100. So maybe you are above average.
Now you're saying around 100.
Yeah.
I think before you said you couldn't break 100.
No, around 100 or over. Like, I mean, you have to be fucking.
If you kept score,
you have to be somewhat pragmatic.
If you hold out every putt played it down, played by the rules.
Correct. Playing by the rules.
Yes. Play by the rules. Very important.
I'm a 100 golfer, 90 to 100. You played with me. That's about where I'm at.
You can hit some good shots.
About where I sit.
I've played with you when you've hit some really, really good shots.
I am average or below average, but I'll go with average.
I know, but you have the ability to strike the ball very nicely.
I try to.
On more than one occasion I can think of when we've played in events that you hit what I consider to be the shot of the day. On more than one occasion.
I call that a win.
How about that, Jim Calder?
I call that a win, Jim
Stuff
Calder.
that in your pipe.
And smoke it.
And that reminds me, we have, you are a Masters champion.
I am a Masters champion.
And we have that event coming up.
The podcast we do right before that, I'm going to do it in my green jacket. Because I'm sure we're going to schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to schedule one right before that.
No, there's no doubt about that.
For anybody that doesn't know, so that there is a bar restaurant in our area that does it's called Clough Crossing.
Is it still called that? I have not
Yes.
been there since it
Yes.
was under new ownership.
Still same name.
Okay.
They continued the tradition like none other.
Gotta love tradition.
So the first day of the Masters, they have like a small putting green out on a patio. And they started this. It's 6 holes. You get a foursome together. You go off and you go all day. But it's the first day of the Masters. And it's just a putting tournament. Well, when you win said putting tournament, you get a green jacket if you are a champion. Had I known you were going to bring it up, I would have brought it and hung it right here. But this
Well, you'll have ample opportunity to do that.
This dumb son of a bitch won it one year. And you actually get a green jacket that is made from the same company that produces the Masters green jackets.
I believe it is probably not an exact replica.
Probably not exact, but close.
But very close.
But it's the same company. I don't give a shit. You can try to downplay it all you want, Dan Carroll.
No, I am not.
Just
I'm not,
you don't
I'm
have
not
one,
downplaying
you can
it at all.
downplay it.
It's a huge. I would love to have one.
But
if
yes,
I had one, I would wear it all the time.
but you get a green jacket.
Dan, what are you wearing there? This is my green jacket.
Yeah,
Same as they wear at the Masters.
It's because I'm a Masters putting champion. But they
I'll drink to that. No, I bet. And then our buddy Jeff Hellman is also a Masters champion.
Our buddy Jeremy Rogers won it last year.
How about that?
He is chomping at the bit to repeat. But it's a fun day of just we start at noon or 1 o'clock and roll through. You got the Masters on TV outside. People, guys are putting balls around, drinking a whole bunch of beer, but it is a tradition.
But that green on which the competition is held is no joke. It is no joke. It is.
You're not wrong.
It is unbelievably difficult.
Rich said only roller is average. Everybody in the tri-state knows that already.
Is roller going to be in the competition this year?
No.
Too bad.
But there has been a melee of text messages trying to get the tee times together of who's coming down at what time, whatever. But that's local shit that we have fun with. But it is a very, very fun day, especially if you win.
And a few people know this, but the Masters jacket, the green jacket, the one that they wear and the one that's placed on the champion at Augusta National is produced every year right here in Cincinnati.
And Rich said they're made at Hamilton Taylor Company. It's right there.
Right there. So that is a fact. It's one of the great things about living in this town, man. We got so much cool shit that happens here.
Some of the dumb shit.
You people don't even know.
Some of the dumb shit, but that Masters jacket, especially around here, is talked about, especially around this time.
Sure it is.
As we're getting close. Oh, are you getting into the putting tournament? Yep, sure am. Well, I'm a champion. I don't have to pay. I get in for free. And
they actually took your measurements, did they not?
Yes.
So it's custom fitted?
Fitted. Now, hopefully I just don't get fat.
Well, that's an incentive not to change your measurements.
Yeah.
Unless you've been shoving so much weight around.
I'll say fatter.
You can't help but get swole, as our buddy Andrew Pappas likes to say.
Oh yeah,
Get swole.
yeah, that fucking guy. I had text messages with him too today.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I had him on my program last night on 700 WLW, and we kicked around the State of the Union address for a while.
I'm sure you did.
That was big fun.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Well, I've got a lot of thoughts. I left my notes in my bag right over there, so I have to try to think of this off the top of my head. But
you didn't pre-play.
Did you watch it? Did you have a chance to?
I saw bits and pieces. I did not watch the whole thing start to finish.
Anyone who watched it had to make the same observation that I made, is that there was a lot of yelling going on. And what happens in the State of the Union address, all this pomp and circumstance surrounding the event, when the president enters the chamber there.
Hey, can I stop you there
Yeah.
real quick? He didn't get to the podium to speak until like roughly 20 after 9.
Yes.
And it was slated for 9.
Yes.
Correct. So it took him literally 10 or 15 minutes to get through. And every president does. So I'm not just blasting Biden since he 513. I just want to get that right off the rip. But they were way the fuck late. Like way late.
Well, there were pro-Palestinian demonstrators who were out on the streets of DC blocking the routes.
Were they American? Were they American citizens? Do we know?
I have no idea who.
Because I know that they put a wall up around the Capitol.
Yes, they did.
Blocking out American citizens.
Yes.
Did not get close. But yet we still have an issue of putting a wall keeping un-American people from coming in. Isn't that weird to you?
I believe wall is being built on the southern border as we speak. But yes, generally speaking,
It's a little weird.
those on the left frown upon a wall being built on the southern border.
I hear. Would you
in
like,
order to
would you
maintain
like me to
the
rephrase
sovereignty of the United States of America?
A barrier? Would a barrier?
Well, they don't like that either.
Right.
They don't like the giant floating things out there with the saw blades in between, which I think is brilliant. You know what I'm talking about in Texas? They put them out there in the river. And so if you try these big giant orange balls, you try crawling on one, you slide off, slide into a saw blade. Which, I mean, is brilliant.
But
it's an excellent deterrent.
But I saw a picture of all these barriers being put up outside the Capitol, and it was just very ironic.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's memes out there and whatever, and I'm not trying to take a meme, but it is very ironic in the fact that they wanted to control who could get close to the Capitol for the State of the Union.
Yes.
They want to control that. But yet we can't control our southern border because that's bad. That's bad. We're supposed to let them in.
Well, Joe Biden said last night it was the Republicans' fault.
Yeah, well, of course it was.
It is the fault of the Republicans who
it was.
Don't want to play nice with Joseph Robinette Biden.
All right, so we're going back. We're going back to all right. So hold on, hold on. Let's try to see this comment. Since 503, it started an hour later than usual too. Okay, all right. So,
but the thing is, I've not seen any reporting today if the protesters, who I saw video of them and live shots of them out on the streets of the Capitol, somewhere between the White House and the Capitol building. I do not know for sure if they had to route around them or the Secret Service police had to clear them out, or if there was a delay encountered between the White House and the Capitol because these people were out there. I don't know any of that. I haven't seen really any reporting on that today. I know they were out there. I don't know if that's why the event started late. That's all I'm saying.
Which that's fair. And we start late all the time, and we're a shitty little podcast. We start late all the time. So I get that. But when you have because I've heard the same reports that you have, all these, pro-Palestinians and, the supporters, Well, you have the Secret Service that when they travel anywhere, they clear the fucking area, and it's cleared for hours before. This is in your own fucking backyard.
Yeah.
So how in the fuck is that not cleared and ready to go? You're not going super far. So, I mean, honestly, we just had a fucking horrible car accident last night.
Yeah.
This morning hours on one of our main thoroughfares. That road was shut down for most of the evening.
Only about
early morning hours.
Maybe a mile and a half from where we're sitting.
And
where that
and guess
that wreck
what?
happened.
And it was, you know what it was? It was fucking Duke Energy workers that were shutting it down. So guess what? How can you not shut if that was in fact the issue? How can you not shut that down? Secret Service comes in, they don't give a fuck who you are. Get the fuck out of the way. You're out.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Right. But I would think that.
So I don't think that's the reason.
I would think that between the White House and the Capitol, the Secret Service has in place a half a dozen different routes that they can take for whatever reason to get between the White House and the Capitol. Probably more. But I would think just off at a snap of a finger, they can take one of a half a dozen different routes for whatever reason they consider necessary. So maybe they routed around them. I to my way of thinking, I would think that they would route around them just to avoid any confrontation on a night that's supposed to be all about the State of the Union.
Is there not 4 or 5 probably points of access to get into that goddamn building?
What, the Capitol building?
For the president?
Yeah.
I mean, for the president.
Absolutely.
Just specifically for him.
I would think so.
I don't understand. And I'm not a big fan of Sloan on 700. I'm not a big fan of him. But I listened today on our local, well, I mean, he goes out a long ways, but AM radio station. And he goes, I think it's absolute horse, as he said, crap. I'll say horse shit. It's slated for 9 o'clock. You should be at the fucking podium at 9 o'clock, ready to go. And what? It was 9:23, 9:24. So 24 minutes, whatever it was. Everyone's sitting there waiting for you. And then you fucking do your little fucking geriatric fucking walk.
But when you're the president, if you show up late, no one's going to criticize you for it.
But you should. You should be criticized more than anybody, in my opinion.
Maybe there's more to it than we know.
Right. And we don't know everything.
Maybe he had to get that last minute IV of some go juice, and
I thought his diaper needed to be changed.
That could be the fact. That could be the case. I think
it's a diaper.
But as I said earlier today, he was drugged up, he was pumped up, he was juiced up, he was ready to rock for the whole thing, and then. So when you get to if you've seen the State of the Union before, the president walks in and the sergeant at arms turns around and says, "Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States." Right. And he walks in, everyone stands up and they're all clapping, and he's shaking all the hands and everything as he walks down. Then he gets up there to the, I don't know, what do you call that area where he speaks from? What
podium?
The podium. The podium.
I don't know what the official term is, but I would say.
So he gets up there and he hands a copy of the speech to the speaker, hands a copy of the speech to the vice president, because it is a joint session of Congress. They're both there, essentially presiding over the joint session. And he turns around, and at that point, the speaker reintroduces the president to those in attendance. But Joe Biden was so amped up and so ready to go, he got up there and just blew right past that and started going. And what did he say? Well, if I was smart, I'd leave now.
I was actually going to bring that up. Yeah,
Joe Biden, he's a funny man.
If I was smart, as people said, I would go home. And when I heard that little snippet, because like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw that, I'm like, yeah, you probably should.
Please do. I'm fine with that. Do you want to exit stage left? Knock yourself out.
You got Secret Service guys that'll escort.
But they had open mic comedy night at the Tap House in Anderson, and I was wondering if he was trying out his new material there. Please welcome to the stage Joseph Robinette Biden. Joe Biden, you here? You got to try your new material?
Oh, yeah. The snippets. And again, I didn't watch it in entirety, which I will. But the little snippets that I kept grabbing, between going out on runs and coming back, what a clown show. Complete and utter fucking clown show.
And then one of the beautiful things about last night was the Trumpster was providing live commentary during the proceedings, and he was literally freaking out all the times Biden stopped to cough, and whenever he coughs into his hand. Have you noticed? I know you've noticed that.
Yes.
And so after he's done speaking, what does he do? He goes out and he wants to shake everyone's hand with that hand he's just been coughing into. That is disgusting, man. I mean, come on. You're the president of the United States. I mean, there's one thing I've learned from the government is that when you cough, you're supposed to, right, like this. But this guy's into his hand all the time. Then he wants to go out and shake. I don't want to shake that guy's hand.
He's going to touch everybody on the way out.
I am not touching him. God knows what he is spreading through that crowd. I mean, maybe they all have hand sanitizers right there in front of them at their seats in the chamber there. But for God's sake.
I mean, him talking about all of the things that his administration has done and what they've done for this country.
Don't get me started.
And there is not a single piece of evidence that backs up what he said. It was the most fucking ridiculous shit. I mean, he has no evidence to back it up. And then, he's applauding Kamala. Well, I've got the first black vice president female. Okay, well that's the way it worked out.
So what?
But yeah, exactly. But you didn't do that. You chose her. You got voted in. But now everybody else in the fucking country is suffering for everything. All of the bullshit fucking decisions you made.
This whole notion that that meritocracy doesn't matter anymore. That you only hire someone because they check off certain DEI boxes. Right? You check someone, you hire someone because they're transsexual. You hire someone because they're non-binary. You hire someone because of the color of their skin. You hire someone because they're in Asian Pacific. You hire someone because they're Native American. You hire someone because they're this minority, that minority, whatever specialized group, flavor of the month it is. I mean, that kind of stuff just should not even be in the equation. And it has reflected poorly on this administration. And when you look at the state of our military right now, I mean, you've got a Secretary of Defense who is more concerned about the threat from climate change than he is from China or Russia or North Korea lobbing missiles into the sea. You've got a Secretary of Defense who is more concerned about proper pronoun usage. And those things are on the top of his list. And he comes into office, makes the entire military stand down for a period of time while they conduct an investigation looking for white supremacists within the ranks of the military. And you wonder why you have trouble meeting your recruiting goals? Because all this nonsense is going on. And you've got transgender. I saw some transgender general from either the Air Force or the Space Force. It was one of them had on a blue uniform, talking about how important it is that everyone use proper pronouns when speaking to your fellow service member. And that was the whole speech. Nothing about kicking ass, nothing about readiness, nothing about the God, country, and the flag. Nothing about any of that stuff. No, proper pronoun usage. That's the most important mission, according to the leaders of our military right now. And that shouldn't be going on.
We also got the one leader who is a trans, who was sitting there like, I don't care how you look at me. I don't care how you look at me. Where it's blatantly a dude, but wearing a female dress uniform, sitting there trying to tell troops how they're supposed to fucking act. Fuck off. Fuck off.
No, but I found a great piece today from the Daily Signal. 11 different items that they fact checked on Biden and in his speech last night. So if you have any questions about any of it, feel free to ask. I've got all the answers. It was a shit show.
I'm trying to look at something else.
It wasn't, especially when he tried to say the name of Laken Riley. How about that part? How about that? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, he said her name.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was wearing a Make America Great Again hat, which decorum calls that you don't do that sort of thing. So I would frown on that a little bit. But at one point, and I saw the video after the fact where Trump was or not Trump, but Biden was walking in the chamber.
It's not coming through. It's not coming through the thing.
Okay, well, I heard it.
You heard it here.
But I saw the video when Biden was walking into the chamber. She had a button or a coin made up that had Laken Riley's name on it. She got Biden to stop, and she pressed it into his hand, and she said, "Say her name. Say her name." And then it took her cell phone, and she said, "What's her name? What's her name?" And Biden was just laughing it off. But he took that marker or that coin or that chip, whatever it was, that had her name on it. And so when he said it, he picked it up and looked at it and still got her name incorrect. Called her Lincoln Riley.
Because he thinks college coach.
And then he goes on and talks about, well, I know how her parents feel because she was killed by an illegal, and she was killed by an illegal. And the Democrats aren't upset that he mispronounced the name and got the name wrong. They're upset that he used the term she was killed by an illegal. And so just a little while ago, I saw a piece of video. He's out touring around the country now talking about how great Bidenomics is. And a reporter said, "Do you regret using the term illegal last night?" And he's like, and he's hemming and hawing around. And I'm thinking to myself, the answer is no. Do you regret? As soon as someone says, "Do you regret?" the answer is no. If you're the president of the United States, and this is my public service to help Joe out a little bit.
Public service announcement.
Joe Biden, listen. When you're the president of the United States, number one, you don't pick up the microphone and tell reporters that, I better not take questions now because I'll get in trouble. That's not funny. You're the president of the United States. You're not going to get in trouble for taking questions. And guess what? If someone on your staff wants to jack you up because you took questions, what do you tell them? There's the door.
How about you give
There's the door. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out.
How about you give a little bit more answers than Karine Jean-Pierre?
Yeah,
Let's give some actual answers. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out. That's fine. But let's try to get an answer.
And then as soon as someone says, "Do you regret?" before they can even finish, you say no, and you move on. Next question. So just look, there's my bipartisan tip of the day. Maybe that can be a new feature on it. Dan's bipartisan tip of the day. That's really 2 tips for the price of 1. So consider yourself lucky.
All right. So since he gets another shout out, funny how there's only one side who tries to remove certain things from history books. I don't even know exactly what that means. So if you could clarify a little bit, that would be lovely.
That is a DNC talking point right there.
Yeah.
So since 513, you got to do better than that.
I would love some clarification on that.
But
we're going to highlight you. I want your voice to be heard, but you got to give some more shit.
Yeah. That's a talking point from the Democrat National Committee. All right.
He said we're fighting in the comments. All right. Well, you usually fight with us. So everybody in the comments, get your shit together, figure it out.
So there you go. That was the shit show from last night.
It was It was the little snippets that I saw and what I heard, with the overview, it was a complete and utter shit show.
Yeah.
I watched him stutter and stammer over just simple fucking words. And then he would go and I'll give him some credit, he'd go a minute and a half and not have an issue, and all of a sudden bloop, 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 bloop. It was like fucking Deputy Dog.
Well, I think the strategy was that on every single applause line, and there were a lot of them.
We say simple words. I love America. Or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, he had problem with syntax. He had problems with phrasing. He had problems with enunciation. But I think the strategy was, and all the Democrats knew it, that on every applause line, they're going to stand up and they're going to extend their applause as long as something that doesn't feel completely unnatural. And so that gives him time to sort of refocus, regroup for his next couple of sentences that he's going to spill out. And then there's another applause line and they stand again. And so how many times do you think that speech got interrupted? A lot last night.
Yeah.
With applause lines.
And some other shit. So, which will lead us into. So let me ask you, you have, hypothetically, you have a soldier, child, who was killed by fucking dumb decisions. And you stand up and you voice your disdain, whatever you want to call it. And it's not like he just bought a ticket to go in there. Like, he was there.
He was invited to be there by a member of Congress.
Exactly. So it's not like he just bought a ticket and he's just this, this hooligan that's coming in there. But the president, during his statements, says something and you don't like it. Do you feel that you are entitled to stand up when you feel that your son was killed for a dumb fucking decision? Do you feel like you should be arrested for that?
I mean, this is a hard one.
It is, and that's why I pose it. It is a hard one.
But the guy we're talking about is Steve Nikoui. He was invited by a representative. His name is Brian Mast, and he invited Steve Nikoui. Steve Nikoui is the father of a Marine that was killed during the withdrawal from Afghanistan at Abbey Gate. And so this man has been mourning the loss of his son almost the entire time that this administration has been in power. And he feels, I think he feels like he has been forgotten. His son has been forgotten. The Marines who were killed that day have been forgotten. And those Marines, and no one has been held to account for how fucked up that withdrawal was. And we have pretty good insight on this because we had, as one of our early guests on this podcast was Lieutenant Colonel Stu Scheller.
Yep.
And he gave us chapter and verse on the culture within the upper echelon of the military that led to this decision-making process and led to, these guys being killed. And we found out subsequently that there was a sniper who had the guy, the bomber, in his sights and could have taken him out, but the order was never approved.
Yep.
To dispatch this son of a bitch. So this father, and far be it from me to criticize, I would never criticize a parent who lost a son or a daughter in service to this country. But generally speaking, I don't think that shouting out and doing that sort of thing and interrupting the State of the Union address is necessarily the way to go. Should he have been removed from the chamber? Yes.
I agree
which he was.
I completely agree.
Did he need to be arrested And I don't know. I guess if he was arrested, I guess he was booked and photographed and fingerprinted and all that kind of stuff.
Which we will find
the
out.
normal booking process. I'm guessing that all that stuff happened. Did that part need to happen? I don't think so.
All right, so I'm going to play this just for anybody that didn't watch or, of course, fucking, I had it all.
Yeah, that's okay. But no, but I had Pappas on the show last night, and we were discussing this, and I was watching the coverage on Fox News. They didn't turn the cameras to show this guy when he would
deserve the freedom to be safe.
And here we go.
America is safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add.
And there he goes.
We made the largest investment.
Which if you notice, he says the American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add. He said every American. He meant to say every Republican. So that was a fuck up right there.
Yeah.
But that I heard that shouting during the speech last night.
I couldn't really ascertain exactly what it was. I did see that part.
I could hear they were saying something about the Marines. I wasn't exactly sure. And Pappas brought that up during the course of our discussion last night. And I said, whoever was doing the shouting was saying something about the Marines. I couldn't make it out. And at that point, I didn't have any specific reporting on that I could. But, we're finding out more about this today, that this was a father who lost his son because of the way they. And look at the way they screwed that up with the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And look at that.
And let me ask you this: like, how many times did we hear during Trump's State of the Union address people fucking lashing out and screaming and making? Nancy Pelosi fucking ripped up a goddamn speech that she was supposed to be reading, of what he was saying, which is fine. I don't give a fuck about that. But I'm just saying, like, the disrespect, but multiple Trump State of the Unions, Democrat people, invitees or whatever, or even delegates, were fucking screaming shit. And so this father gets fucking arrested. That's stupid. I think it's fucking dumb. Escort him out. Okay, that's fine. You're upset. Let's just get you out of the situation.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. But to arrest him, so he's actually charged.
The video you have has that brief shot of him walking. I didn't in that 4 or 5 seconds that we see of him, the guys were standing there. He was like, "Okay, I'm coming." I didn't see any resistance.
Yeah,
I didn't see any F-bombs. I didn't see anything to indicate that he was being a nuisance. He got up, did what he did, and then he knew he was going to be asked to leave the chamber, and he did.
Fucking David J said Dan Varner Foundation is what I heard. That's the greatest. That is the greatest. That's the greatest ad read ever right there.
That could be. Dan Varner is the best.
No, I think it's bullshit because during Trump's administration, the same thing happened. And you're going to have, it doesn't matter who the next president is or who the next 4 presidents are. You're going to have some asshole, some guy screaming something. Now, this guy's upset, and I'm not intentionally calling him an asshole. He's disrupting a thing, and I don't agree with that. Hold your shit together. Compose yourself, because you're in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol. I understand you're upset. I get that. Escorted out. Cool. Got it. Arrested, I think it's a little bit much.
Yeah, I don't think you need. Yeah, removed from the gallery, yes, but arrested.
Now,
no, I don't think so.
I'll be curious.
I hope he
to
was
see.
released on his own recognizance.
I'll be curious to see if the charge, if they actually stick the charge.
No, I would like to.
But he's got every right to fucking yell and be pissed off about it. But
I would like to think that
that's not the venue to do it.
That a judge would, wag his or her finger at him for a little bit, and then grovel in front of him, and thank him profusely for the sacrifice that his family's made for our country, and then send him on his way.
Yeah. All right.
There's in this country.
Let's not do that again.
This country is not better off. No one is safer if this guy does 1 second behind bars. I mean, 1 second behind bars. That shouldn't happen.
No,
And look, I'm Mr. Law and Order. I am not lenient on this kind of stuff at all. But knowing this guy's situation, now if he would have come out and started throwing some fists, right, and caused a real disruption, then I might change my tune.
That's what makes a good State of the Union address right there. A good old fucking fashioned bar.
It's like when you go to a wedding reception and a fight breaks out, right?
Yes.
This is it. Yeah, this is a good wedding to go to.
That's how you know this was a good one.
How many times has that happened? You've been at a wedding reception when a fight breaks out?
Oh, I've been at a couple. I've been at a couple. But yeah, I don't know, and we'll see where that goes, and I will be curious, and I will look into that just to see if they actually officially charge him.
I hope they don't.
Get him out. I get it, but the guy lost a fucking kid in a stupid ass fucking call by the government.
Oh my God.
Stupid ass call.
Should have never happened. Should have never happened.
So you have to kind of you have to eat those types of things. It's like being a shitty comic and you being on the stage and getting fucking heckled and called out for your dumbass jokes. So like, I paid fucking money for this. I mean, Grant, that guy was invited, but
is that your go-to heckle right there? I paid money for this.
Yeah. I've said it once or twice.
You've actually heckled a comedian?
Yeah, get your shit together.
At a real comedy club?
Yeah, get your shit together, man.
No shit.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, you're terrible.
Comedy is not easy.
I will tell you right now.
Wow.
I will go into this real quick story.
That's it. You and I have never been to a comedy club together.
Oh, we should.
We should. We
should go.
That'd be a whole show right there.
I went to Cat Williams hit the fucking, obviously got more popular after going on Shannon Sharp's Shea Lounge or whatever the fuck he calls his podcast.
I don't know.
Which it's really big, but Cat Williams called out fucking everybody. Called out everybody. So it's not going to necessarily pertain to some of our out of town listeners, watchers, whatever. But we went through a period here in Cincinnati where we had a University of Cincinnati police officer shoot a black man in his car.
Yep.
And it was a big fucking deal. Big deal. Well, Cat Williams is from Cincinnati. So I bought tickets because I always liked him. The little pimp. That's what you always say. I liked him. I liked his comedy. Bought tickets. Spent probably $70 a piece on them.
Oh, dang.
It was pricey. Go in.
Where was the show? At Taft Theater?
No, it was down at the arena. What they call
U.S. Bank Arena? Or
Heritage Bank now that they're calling it.
That's a big venue for a comedy show.
Well, the whole thing wasn't opened up. It was they cut it like in half or whatever.
Yeah, so even cut in half, that's a big venue for a comedy show.
Sure. So bought tickets. I was super excited. But our city was in a little bit of turmoil with racial stuff. So me and my ex, we go down. Maybe, and this is, I'm completely being funny with this, but maybe one of 20 white couples in the audience.
Ooh.
And then he just goes on a diatribe about the racial injustice in Cincinnati because of this event. I'm like, I paid $70 for this shit. And he's on a political platform trying to say what he wants to say. And I'm like, dude, I just want to hear your fucking pimp jokes, dude. That's why I paid for this fucking ticket. Well, he goes in this political diatribe. And all of a sudden, we just get looks. we're getting looked at from every fucking angle because we're the only white couple that's sitting there. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Where I said, pack your shit up. We're out. Because, and you know that time.
You're like, I didn't do anything.
And you know that time. You know that time, no, like the time in Cincinnati, especially in downtown Cincinnati, in the Clifton area, everything was so tight. Like you could it was like dental floss.
Mm-hmm.
And you could play a song on it. It was so tight. And I'm like, dude, I'm not comfortable. Like, we're getting the fuck out of here. But I'm like, that's bullshit. But then when I saw him on Shannon Sharp and he's calling out everybody. And then I've also seen since then, like some of his comedy shows like have been complete and utter bullshit. But ever since then, I'm like, you know what? Fuck Cat Williams. I'm not going to fucking watch a single. I'm not giving him money to go watch a show. But I was the biggest fan at that point going in there. Very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. But but
you didn't stand up and shout out.
No, I did not. I got up and
say left. You suck as a comedian.
I got up and I left.
Did you want to do that though?
I wanted to say a whole bunch of shit.
Had the circumstances been different, would you have been so bold?
I wanted to be able to say a whole bunch of shit, but I also want to get out of there. You didn't want to get an ass whooping either. I want to get out of there alive.
All
right, you keep talking for a second because I'm trying to catch up on comments.
Let's see. Our officers warned him to stop. This is from the Capitol Police. And when he did not, the man was removed from the House galleries. The sergeant at arms is holding my State of the Union guest for yelling at Biden in protest because his son was killed in action at Abbey Gate due to Biden's incompetence. Mast, who is the congressperson that invited him there, said it on a Twitter post. So much for the right to petition our government for redress of grievances. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCall of Texas held a roundtable with Nikoui last year, said the charges are petty. The charges seem a little overbearing. I'm a former federal prosecutor, rule of law kind of guy. But for me, this was the most free speech exercise. Let's see. So I guess there are charges. He was arrested for disrupting President Biden's State of the Union address. Why it matters, big picture. See, the headline here says that he's been charged, but it doesn't say what the charges are.
I was going to say, would that be disorderly conduct?
Yeah, I'm not seeing a specific in this article, which is written by Axios. And Axios, you got to do a better job. I mean, look, you get cited in news articles all the time. Axios was reporting this. Axios is reporting that. Tell us what the charges are. Don't put a headline out there that says the guy is charged for disrupting Biden's speech and then not have the charges in the body of your article. All they got on here is a bunch of, let's see.
Dead leg. We need you to pull a public records request.
It says DC code prohibits protesting in an area where it is otherwise unlawful to demonstrate and continue after being instructed by law enforcement officers to cease. The charge carries a fine of $500 and 90 days in prison. All right, here we go.
Which would never.
Nikoui is charged with local misdemeanor charge of crowding and obstructing or incommoding. 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 Crowding, obstructing, or incommoding. Those are the charges. So apparently he is charged.
But that video, he wasn't crowding anybody because it sure seemed like he was, pretty by himself for the most part.
Yeah, crowding, obstructing, or incommoding. So there you go. And all right, Axios has the charges in their article, but it is literally
buried.
This is the third last sentence of this. And it's down here. You got to go through. You got to scroll through this whole article to get to what the charges are.
And you know why? Because nobody ever goes down to the bottom of the article.
Yeah,
they grab what they want, and they leave.
Yeah,
it's just like this podcast. They tune in for a second and then they're out.
Is that what they do?
Seems like it.
Well, you shouldn't do that. You should stay for the whole podcast, and then mash the like button when it's time to do that. Oh, but this is a good time to talk about the Varner Foundation for Children and Families. How about that?
How about that?
And are those who give of themselves to look after foster kids are really among the most special of our friends and neighbors, and it really can be a strain on anyone's budget, no matter how much money you make. And look, they don't do it for the money. They do it because they really want to help these kids. But sadly, more than half of the families that get involved in this, they give up after the first year because the resources really can be tough to come by. And that is where the Varner Foundation comes in. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, and it can really, they really pride themselves on being able to help in a hurry. You got a kid that needs a prescription, maybe an extra bed, an emergency repair to the house or the car. Those are all the kind of things and a lots more that the Varner Foundation can help out with. And lots of times it takes a single phone call to get the job done. And all of the money, every bit of it, goes to the mission. There's no overhead. There's nothing taken out. Every penny that you donate to the Varner Foundation goes towards the mission. And it says here 100%, so I guess I'm going to say it. But
cheers and cheers.
My beverage is empty. So Jason will pass me another one. So if you can help, please make a difference in the life of a child today. Donate to the Varner Foundation, a great sponsor of this program, the varnerfoundation.org, varnerfoundation.org. So there you go.
Good work. Good work on that one.
And with tax time coming up, if you're looking to make a donation, offset some of your taxes, you can't find a better one than that.
Just hit the tax man today. My tax guy took care of me.
Congratulations to you.
That's done. Squared away. Thank God.
I always say I'm not going to wait till the last minute. I always do.
And you always do.
I know.
Hey, I got a good tax guy though, if you need him. You want to talk about our buddies Engraved?
Yeah. I just saw it right there on your thing, but Engraved in USA, and I doggone it, I was thinking about that. You gave me the cup. I was with you the other day, and you gave me a cup they engraved that had a tribute to Toby Keith on it.
Yes,
and I was going to put it right there, right next to our on-air sign, which I think should be a lasting tribute to Toby Keith here in the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast in the Illegal Shift studio. But that is just one of the, and again, I would like to take it and hold it up really close to the camera, and you can see what they did on it because it looks really cool. It's like a metal red Solo cup, and they put his date of birth, date of death, tribute to Toby Keith. Really very just beautiful, exquisite work. And that is not just on that item, but any item that you get from Engraved in USA has that same quality of work. We just saw a bottle of booze that you had that has the likeness of our buddy Rob Herking on it. Amazing. That is a one-of-a-kind item right there.
Literally knocked it out in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
While we were sitting there bullshit. It was actually sooner than that, but we were bullshit.
Yeah, but now it's a one-of-a-kind keepsake.
Yep.
That things like that you and your family can enjoy for many years to come. So we encourage you to go to their website, engravedinusa.com. You see it right there, or pick up the phone, 682-2557, area code 513, and talk to our buddy Rich, and he'll hook you up with whatever you need. You need gifts. You need something special for an anniversary, for a Christmas gift. Easter is coming up, all that kind of stuff. Engraved in USA. We can't recommend them highly enough, and we thank them for being a great friend and a great sponsor of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast.
Dude, you kill it. You kill it every time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You do a very, very good job. So I'll give a quick update on our buddy Rob. He had a little bit of a setback back in the hospital, but nothing is dire at this point. It's just we're not making that upward climb that we need. But we have a huge fundraiser coming up on March 16th. And I know at least of 2 of our friends / guests that are going to make an appearance. They're coming up. You don't know one of them, but you do know one of them. But
is it going to be a surprise?
But you don't. But
all right.
But one of our friends, Chris Bustler, who wrote the book No Tougher, or I don't want to get it wrong. Shit.
I know. What is the name of his book? It's a great book, though. Now I got to think about it.
No Tougher Duty, No Greater Honor.
That's it.
Yes. He is traveling in. We're actually going to have him on as a guest because we are going to be live podcasting from roughly 6 to 7. Could be a little shorter, maybe a little bit later. I'll get those times down better. But we're going to do a live podcast from there, from the fundraiser.
Yeah, and I encourage everyone. That podcast, I think, is going to be appointment viewing because we're going to have a third mic set up. There's going to be all kinds of opportunities for guests to come up and sit down and talk for a few minutes. And that show could go 1,000 different directions. That's a fact. That show is going to be great. And we're going to hear a lot of different voices, talk to a lot of different people. And I think it's going to be big fun. And that hour is going to fly right by. It's going to be amazing.
But I'm putting Aaron's Venmo up. If you can, I know whether you can scan it or whether you can't.
Give him a minute to click on that QR code.
Yeah. So all of the proceeds are going straight to her, to cover any of the household costs, medical costs. I mean, there's going to be a ton of medical costs involved with this, but any help that we can get from anybody that's listening, watching, and if you're listening, it is Venmo at Aaron Herking, HERKING -1. Find her on Venmo and toss 10, 20 bucks, whatever you can do, because that family's incurring so many medical costs right now. And, our biggest priority is getting our buddy back, getting him back up and going, getting him back on this. But right now the big priority is the family. So anything that you can give, that would be fantastic. I'm not a big peddler. I hate pushing stuff out, but this is a big deal. But we're gonna have a huge fucking party. If you are somewhat close to the area, there's the flyer. It's not the newest flyer, but that 6:30 to TBD. It'll be one more, and I'm out of here roughly 6 to 7. Got a ton of great raffle prizes. Ton of live auction items that are. I mean, we have an AR-15 that's getting ready to get. It's going to get raffled off. So we've had a lot of people come through in this community, that we live in. People that liked Rob, love Rob, and want to see his family do well. So we just need to get them, somewhat square and attempt to get them good financially, but then also we need our buddy back.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can say a lot of things about Rob Herking, but the one thing that is without question is that he really does have a beautiful family, beautiful kids, beautiful wife. And this is going to hopefully ease their burden a little bit. It is by no means is this going to take away everything that they're dealing with, but to help lighten their load a little bit is really what we're aiming for here. And again, to show that they're not alone, that there's people who care and people who want to help support them any way they can. And this is I don't think I'm giving anything away here, but we're looking at some long-term stuff as far as that goes, and just all the indicators that we have heading into this 1 week hence. So this event's going to take place 1 week from tomorrow. All the indicators are looking, I think, probably as good as anyone could have hoped they would look. And they are all looking very, very good. And we just hope that keeps rolling right up to and through the event next Saturday.
Yep. And we make the jokes, and if you watch the podcast or listen to the podcast in the past, a lot of ball busting and whatnot, but
that's what guys do, even on National Women's Day, whatever you call it.
But we miss our buddy. We need some more ball busting, so we miss him, and we need him back healthy. And any support you can give the family, we would truly, truly, truly appreciate. So that's my final thoughts.
All right, when do we get to do this again?
When do we do it again?
I don't know. Now I got to pull up my calendar.
I get well, it's easier for me because you don't know how to work your phone.
I'm slow. You'll probably find it fast. We're both clicking on our phone right now. You'll probably find it faster
Monday.
There we go.
Monday.
I
knew I'd find it faster.
We'll see you right back here on Monday at the Illegal Shift Studio.
Anything you can give, we appreciate it. Anybody that has any questions, hit me on Instagram. Yeah, whether it's one more or JKeef21 on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you got me. So I'll get you all the information you need. But thank you for the support, and we will see you Monday.
See you. Thanks.